First off, don't be so hard on yourself, man.
It's part of it.
I forgot about that. That's what. You went and backed up an incredible second place to Heptim. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks, yeah. 2 weeks later, another second place at US Cross to Parker Wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
No fear.
And just like dude, you're like at the front of that race, absolutely pushing the pace on Parker, Nico, Graham. That was baller, dude.
So you decide to go to Wake Forest, which, no diss on Wake Forest. You guys are crushing it. But like, you had a lot of options and you chose to go somewhere a bit closer to home. What was kind of like the actual decision-making process behind that?
Whenever we're being recruited to Wake, like one of the first things they said on the call was we recruit based more on like the character of the guys, like are they good people, rather than are they really fast runners. At the time, I didn't know it, but I had severe iron deficiency anemia. I just try and stay away from plated shoes as much as possible in training.
Yeah, fair enough. So your parents were like, this is a fucking sick name. Let's name our kid Rocky. Is that kind of how it went?
But there's also deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah. I'll be allowed to know the deeper meaning?
Yeah, you can know the deeper meaning. My mom's open about it.
Find out more on the Coffee Club podcast.
Coffee Club, Coffee Club. Grind your beans and grab your favorite mug. It's Ollie, Morgan, George, and Gus. It's them boys from Coffee Club. Boys from Coffee Club.
And before we get into today's episode, we do have to give a shout out to our lovely sponsor, AmazeFit. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We started off with a bang last week with Grant Fisher, and today we have some other amazing things to share about AmazeFit. You want to get us started off, George?
I'd love to, Morgan. It was quite good timing, our partnership, because it was right after I got the flu. So I started using the sleep tracker to find out if I was actually recovered or not. And I had some brutal sleep data like those few days after. And it was super useful to track in the kind of weeks recovering from that, and nice to see some things bounce back. So I'm actually wearing it right now, the Helios strap, and just as a sleep tracker, that's been huge the last few weeks.
Does it track the mouse taping as well, George?
Well, I should try a night where I don't wear it and see
how it works.
But I'm never sleeping without mouth tape, so then
that
I
is
don't
true.
know.
That is true. There is probably no other side of it. But one of the greatest things about that is it is a free add-on with the AmazeFit, and being affordable, particularly compared to the other competitors, it's pretty exciting to have a watch with the OLED battery life and GPS being up to that kind of quality. So it's been a pretty amazing watch to use, and it's been great, honestly, to be teammates with Grant Fisher and our hero, Josh Kerr.
Shout out to Josh Kerr. That was one of the main reasons we just wanted to be teammates with him.
I mean, we've been trying for years, and it's been great to work with him, and this company's brought us together. I mean, I have been dreaming about it, and obviously not as well as you, George, with this with the Helios strap. But yeah, thank you to AmazeFit for helping us be better athletes and hopefully better podcasters.
Yeah.
How is it helping our podcast?
How's it helping our podcast?
Podcasting skills.
Happiness, vitality, wealth, success, all the above. It just helps us be better podcasters, I think. But yeah, we'll be back checking in about them next week as well, so stay tuned. But yeah, thank you once again to AmazeFit for supporting us. And use our code COFFEE in all caps at checkout for 15% off your purchase at amazefit.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coffee Club podcast, episode 222. Shout out to Roger Hoare, Greg Hoare, Ollie's dad, for rightly so calling us out, because our last two episodes were both episode 220, according to what I said.
I think I also noticed that, but I was hoping that no one else was going to.
If anyone's going to notice, it was my dad. So
is episode 221 just gone?
Yeah, do it.
It's like episode 0. It's just lost in the abyss.
Do we have two episode 220s, I guess? No, 290.
Oh.
No, it was because the reason is because that's why we have two 220s, is because
one got pushed back.
The Grant one got pushed back a week. So live, we said we thought it was going to be 220. And then we recorded actual 220 week of and we pushed Grant one.
So what
back.
I'm hearing is it's Grant's fault.
I mean,
that's what I'm hearing right now from everyone.
It sounds right.
Manager Tom is laughing. All right.
Sorry, we've been ignoring our amazing guest. We're very, very excited today to have Rocky Hansen on the pod. Rocky, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, and thanks for having me.
It's a good way to spend your spring break out here in Boulder, getting a little bit of altitude training. We also have Aiden, Wake Forest friend. He's off camera. But the boys are here.
Down here.
Yeah, we got a crowd. We got an entourage. Actually, behind the camera, we also have manager Tom. And we have water boy Avery. So
Intern Avery,
Let's go.
manager Tom, audience member Aiden, and a guest.
A lot of callback, actually. A lot of callback because,
Yeah.
Waterboy Avery's been there's a bit of a law.
Yeah, that's back from the early days. You guys probably wouldn't know him unless you're listening back then. But yeah, Rocky is here then. We have so much fun stuff to talk about. Everyone will know Rocky Hansen. He's been absolutely crushing it, especially most recently crushing in cross country, coming second behind Hupton Samuel at NCAA's last season. So we have so much fun stuff to talk about with him. But before we get into that, we do have a few shout outs, which is a little throwback to our LA trip that we took this past weekend together, which was really fun. First off, thank you guys so much to everyone that did come out and spend some time with us, particularly at the event that we did on Saturday at the OnStore. It was really nice to see you guys out there. And even before that, we probably got to give a shout out to Ferris. He was very kind. Coach Ferris at UCLA to let us on the track on Saturday morning. These boys had a special guest hop in their workout.
We did have a special guest on the workout.
Appearance.
Hopefully future interview in the Coffee Club podcast.
Don't give too much away.
But we'll keep that. We'll keep that.
People might have seen it though because it was on Instagram.
It was on his Instagram, I'm pretty sure.
It
I think I
was.
know who it was.
He did post
Rocky,
it. Yeah.
Rocky
Are you following The Bachelor?
Well, because he was.
He just dropped it.
He was a Wake Forest grad, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
there we
no
go.
way.
Yeah.
There we go.
Was he really?
Yeah, so he follows a bunch of people on the
Oh,
I
Yeah.
love that. So it was Matt James, right? Is his name?
Matt James.
Matt James was out there training for Boston Marathon, apparently, getting in some mile reps. And I think he finished and must have been chatting to Ferris, asking who the hell these other guys were.
They kept taking up lane one that was, he was in, but
Yeah, and asked to hop in a set with Ollie and I.
A little speed set.
And
it was blown a gale.
credit to him. He gave it a good go.
Yeah, he came
Good.
in for one set, and this is a guy that's training for the marathon, and George and I were doing a 1,500 meter workout, which is a little quicker than anybody's used to, and were we in Spikes at that point?
Yeah, because
No,
you guys.
not yet.
No?
Oh, and
When he joined in?
Picture?
Because he was just wearing
Oh, maybe.
joggers.
shit, maybe we were.
Yeah, so he was
I can't
doing that
remember.
set in
Could've
joggers.
been.
We were in Spikes, so he was giving it a good test, and it was pretty cool to see.
Respect.
Very nice,
Mad respect.
very nice gentleman, and hopefully,
And a few boys from the UCLA team came
Yeah.
out to.
Yeah, dude, that was
Cheers,
nice.
Tom.
Always nice to have the college kids just to know that we're still relevant in that scene. And they're rocking one of them was rocking some of the really cool merch from back in the day. So mad respect for that. They also came out to our event, and we do have a couple of bean shout outs from the actual event itself. Ollie, if you want to kick us off.
yes. Now I wrote down this name, and I'm pretty sure it's you, but I now worry that it might not be you. But Grace from Ohio. Ohio means good morning in Japanese, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Crush it.
Gozaimasu?
Arigato gozaimasu. Grace came and gave us this delicious bag of beans. She apologized profusely to George because it's not in a white bag. However, it does have a brilliant teacup turtle on it from Bent Tree Coffee Roasters. Mango co-ferment Colombian beans. It looks like it's got some
Bean
some
Tree.
crazy
Is this from Ohio?
flavors. Yeah, I think it is from Ohio. Yeah, it's from Kent, Ohio.
They look tasty.
Avery, where's Kent, Ohio? No clue.
No clue.
He's from Ohio.
He's from
so-
Ohio. No clue what Kent, Ohio is from.
He doesn't know.
But we got tasty notes of money.
Money.
Money. Mango, honeydew, pineapple, starfruit, tangerine, crispy tart, acidity,
All right, they're
richy
just,
floral, deeply fruity.
they're just pulling words out of their hat. That's way too many.
There's a lot
got
going
a lot
on
of
here,
flavor.
but knowing the Coffee Club boys, we will dissect every single flavor here. But we really appreciate you, Grace. Thank you very much, and thanks for coming to the Gustilla poster signing.
Hell yeah. And we also have,
These look running themed.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. So this is from our good friend, San Diego Hobby Jogger, who made a very, a star appearance, you could say, at the event.
He
Presented
really
us with Gus's Hollywood Star. Is it Hollywood Boulevard, I guess? Yeah, it must be, surely.
His
the
star
start
is
there?
at
Yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard right now. Yes, it was placed in. Gus oversaw it over FaceTime, so it's
He
locked
approved?
in. He approved of it.
But these bags, so the actual roasting company is called Steady State Roasting. So I'm thinking, is
seems
it
like a runner.
coincidence or is it
It seems running
athletic
involved.
related? Who knows? But we got the Space Traveler blend, so should be absolutely lovely. Gave us some other really, really nice gifts as well. So thank you very much.
These are from Carlsbad, I think.
Yeah,
Carlsbad,
San Diego.
which is a good spot for coffee. I almost went to this place when I went to that random Thanksgiving in Carlsbad a couple of years ago, but it was just slightly too far of a walk. But I saw
Like
it on the
Steady
map.
State Roasters.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
the shop's called.
Yeah, it is,
Nice,
and it was like just down the road a bit more.
very cool. And our
Those smell really good.
final shout out. I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name. So please message us your name because this was literally the first fan in line. She was very kind. She gave us some petrified wood, also known as, we're questioning if this is just rocks, if that's just what rocks are. Petrified wood from the California area. She mentioned like the Catalina Island, I think somewhere around there. So
It really just seems like a rock.
yeah, we got to get a geologist. What's your major, Rocky?
Engineering. I
Oh, okay. Well, you're
Not a
useless.
geologist.
You're useless.
Aiden?
Any geologists here?
No.
No
Okay.
geologist here.
No.
So we'll get to the bottom of this. Yes, send us a message with your name and maybe just refresh our memory on the details of them.
What was
because
the shrinking reference?
he gives out rocks.
Or she does? Wait,
Is that what she does, or is that what Harrison Ford
neighbor
does?
I think
the neighbor does.
gives
The
out.
neighbor gives out
gives
rocks
out
to people
rocks.
that she becomes good friends with. Yep,
So-
that's it.
She brought that up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're feeling special because we got given nice rocks
Mhm.
or wood, but they really seem like rocks.
Yeah, that just makes me question if every rock was once a.
I mean, I trust that we don't have any geology history here, so I'm trusting her to say that these are petrified wood. But
They're
we
nice,
can
though.
always
They
get
feel
them
good.
looked at.
They now live in the studio for eternity.
They're going to be here, and we're going to be looking at them, and every time we look at them, we'll be thinking, "Wow, we made."
Is that a
friend."
rock or is that
So-
petrified wood?
We'll be thinking, I'm
That's
not,
what we'll be
I'm not a
thinking.
geologist. I'm
I'm not a geologist. I don't know what that is.
But yeah, thank you guys so much once again. It was awesome. Thank you so much to On for having us out for that at the store. It was really cool to be part of the event and the whole marathon. LA Marathon, great vibes. We've previously gone out to New York and done events at Boston. And I think that everyone can imagine how those East Coast majors are. Pretty hectic in a word. LA, not quite as hectic, more of a chill vibe. Pretty
Yeah.
nice. So we had a good time.
Yeah.
And the weather was
There's a mariachi band.
Amazing.
At the
There was.
on mile point 18. Was it 18 or 19?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
Eagle Rock.
Speaking of mile 18, we have to talk about this.
the,
the
which part?
the fact that you could stop at mile 18 and get a finisher medal.
Oh, I saw that
how do we all
yesterday.
feel about this?
Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
I saw that this is how big news. Is it I could be butchering this because this is like mainstream American stuff. Is it Patrick something show or Ryan Patrick? It's like a big like sports American guy show.
The Pat McAfee show?
Not Pat McAfee. It's like an older gentleman.
Oh.
People will know. Oh, they might not know because maybe I'll butcher it so hard. But this was like almost mainstream, and they were complaining about
It definitely
this.
made it out there into some. Did you see it, Ollie?
I did see it. I saw Matt James post about it when he said that you
Yeah.
can finish at mile 18.
So basically, the week of, I think in response to seeing a forecast with
It was almost 30
quite high
degrees.
temps, like 28 Celsius ish, over 80. They were for saying for safety reasons, basically.
Yeah.
You could
Still get
stop at mile 18, which is not a random number. That is just actually where the finish line is because the rest of the course is an out and back. So they didn't just like pull that number out of a hat. You could stop at 18 and still get a finisher medal.
How do we feel about that?
I mean, as a runner, I feel like it's disrespectful to everyone that tries to finish a marathon. However, if it's a health and safety situation, I'm all about health and safety. Look after yourselves. The one thing that I do find funny with it though is usually after these marathons, I saw it in Hawaii a lot too. You see all these bros wearing the medal around, just drinking like 16 pina coladas, and you just think like, now when I was in LA, I was thinking like, did you run 18 miles or did you run the whole thing? And I was with Meg, and I was like, Meg, I really want to ask them if they ran the whole thing or just ran 18, because like they were like we walked past this group when we were in Santa Monica and they all had the medal on and they're all just like drinking Coors Light and getting like having a good time, obviously, because you've just run a marathon and it's time to celebrate. But I really wanted to know if you were like, did you chicken out? Did you not run the whole way? But yeah, if it's a health and safety thing, I get that. But also,
I'm all for like,
I'm a no on that one. I'd rather you just run the whole marathon. You prepared for it, you run the whole thing.
Or
just
they
take a lot of drink
offer,
water.
because of the extreme conditions, they offer like free entry next year or something.
Yeah, the free entry next year is a
something
good
like that could be a good alternative.
substitute.
But I know it's like not that simple for everyone. But yeah,
I'm all for like the inclusion part, like maybe making people like feel a little bit more seen in the marathons or whatever. It is just about like getting as many people to do them as you can. But also, like, I feel like you'd have a hard time taking that medal home and showing people, knowing you hadn't run a marathon. But also,
well, that's from
like,
our perspective, because you got to think about this perspective of, let's say, like a more elderly person. I don't know, like
or younger,
younger,
because there's like heaps of school kids that do the LA Marathon. It's
For
like
real?
a big thing, like high schoolers
Didn't know
/
that.
if not younger. That's like a big part of the LA Marathon.
Did not know.
And I think they were partly worried that because they'd be quite medal motivated, they didn't want any of them dying on the course.
Yeah, I mean, like it is a real health risk, like those types of temperatures, especially like in winter time. So
Dude, it was hot out there when we were just standing there cheering.
yeah, we saw a lot of sweaty people out there running, particularly there was a man running that ran past in a full suit.
Yeah, and you could see the sweat coming through the suit as well. What about the dude in the big bubble head?
That was impressive.
That was crazy.
That one must have been even more sweaty.
Yeah.
The other cool thing that this marathon actually got headlines for was the finish as well.
Yeah. Crazy finish.
Not for a great reason again, though.
Oh, I think it's a good reason. I think the story.
Going off course?
No, but that's not why it got headlines. It got headlines because it was so close.
Yes, but it was close because he went off course.
Yeah, I saw that put in there.
I mean, he literally.
How far off course did he go?
There was like the main. I don't know how it happened. Main road. A lady comes out with a Kenyan flag, like waving it in front of him, like getting super excited, and kind of like throws off like where he is on the road.
He veers to the right instead of going straight
and then
to the left.
the TV car veers off the course because I think like the rest of the
They couldn't
race.
drive anymore.
the rest of the race is like without the TV car.
And he's
And
followed,
he
he's
follows
followed
it just like
yeah.
into the crowd basically, just like off the road, and then everyone's like, no, stop. And then he had to like do a U-turn.
I don't want to take it away from
20 meters maybe.
Yeah.
He was dying.
But it was a
zero point
0.001 difference in the end, so you have to think.
I thought you would
20
be behind a
meters,
kick, George. You
U-turn.
love a kick.
Well, hey, I didn't say I'm not. I didn't think it was a good finish, but it would be nice if it didn't happen because he went off course.
So let's say I saw that headline 5 times, for example. The first 4 didn't mention that part. The first 4 were just like, wow, this is an epic
Close finish.
finish, never give up type vibe. It was leaked after.
To the press,
yeah.
to TMZ.
I think it's because no one
Okay.
knew for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know.
TMZ.
I didn't know.
I didn't know
initially
either.
when
No.
I saw it the first few times.
And I know everything. So
And it has been crazy how many photo finish marathons we've been getting.
Love it.
yeah.
This one, Tokyo was like a lean. World Champs was like a lean at the finish line. There's another one in between.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
The Boulder
There was like a fourth one.
Boulder-thon?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That was Rocky's favorite.
Boulder.
The Boulder.
I feel like the New York men's one was like, maybe New York men's. That was like, were
That
they
was
like
pretty
almost
close,
on the
I
line
think.
together.
Wasn't it?
I do like how many
Oh.
close ones we've been getting
It is crazy.
in a marathon.
I'm trying to back you up, George. I have no idea.
Hey, thanks, bro.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
But
I'm
yeah,
trying to back you up.
LA Marathon. Good vibes out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Fun.
Thanks.
Does seem like a very tough marathon to do.
Thanks to On for having us. It was very cool. The store was in a really cool street, actually.
Yeah.
Very cool vibes. We had the coffee club had the cart with the coffee and everything, and the ladies working in there had the coffee club aprons. That was kind of like a very proud moment.
We made
Seeing
it to
that.
Abbot Kinney, which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not many running based podcasts can say that. So thank you for that, and thanks for Tom for everything for setting it up.
Appreciate the
It was a lovely time. Hopefully we can do it again. So yeah, awesome. On to Rocky, my man.
All right.
Wake Forest
Yes.
Junior. You're a true junior,
True junior.
so you're young as fuck.
You could say.
That's crazy. Where should we begin? Why don't we go back to? So you're from North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm from Hendersonville, North Carolina. So for people, I guess Asheville is the western part of the state, and it's up in the Appalachian Mountains.
Could have helped us out a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
We've been doing a lot of North Carolina geography lately.
Really?
I've been sucking
we
at
had
it.
we had a bag of beans that was from a roaster in Asheville.
And we were trying to
Oh,
decide
really?
which mountains they were: Smoky Mountains, Blue Mountains, or Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, well, I mean, the
Are those all the
big
same?
range, it's the Appalachian Mountains. But I mean, some people, like through Asheville, it's like, oh, it's the Blue Ridge Mountains. But
Is there a
like,
reason? Is there a link between there being the Smoky Mountains and the fact that the town is called Asheville?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, the Smoky Mountains is more Tennessee than. I mean, there's
So
parts of it that are in
kinda
North
off.
Carolina, but I feel like the national park itself is mostly in East Tennessee.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And you became the first high schooler from North Carolina to break 400 miles. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a cool
Wow,
stat.
that's quite
Yeah.
good.
When you did
Where'd you
break,
do that?
That was at UVA in 2023, April. Yeah.
So you were in high school in 2023? Damn.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I
makes
know.
us feel-
Senior year.
Don't like the sound of that.
Oh,
That
God.
makes us feel very old. Doing it in 2023, how's it feel? Is it like kind of more of a, is it becoming an expectation if you're like a top guy, you're like, I have to break 4, like everyone's doing it now?
Well, I remember distinctly City of Smag was like doing their posts for like every high schooler that would break 4 in the mile. And I remember they said, all right, we're going to stop at 20. Like after 20, we're no longer posting high schoolers
many.
that go under 4. Because they were like, it's just too many. Like everyone's getting too good. So I guess like I still got under like the 20 barrier, I guess. But I mean, so I was kind of like, oh, I got to get it done before then in a way. But in that way, yes, like just because there were so many people doing it, it was like, yeah, to be a top guy, it almost feels like it's like almost felt like it was like a prerequisite in a way.
It certainly is. And so you decide to go to Wake Forest, which no diss on Wake Forest. You guys are crushing it. But like when you think of, the biggest running schools, some people would mention NAU, some would mention Wisconsin, other schools.
The schools that we went to pretty
I'm trying
much.
to say you would have had a lot of options and you chose to go somewhere a bit closer to home.
Mhm.
What was kind of like the actual decision-making process behind that to join Coach Hayes, right?
Yeah, Coach Sean Hayes. I mean, it's a fair evaluation. Like, I mean, Wisconsin obviously has history. NAU has lots of history, and I think that originally, to be quite honest, I wasn't even looking at Wake Forest when I was going into summer of my junior year. It was looking at places like that, like, oh, what are the big names? What places have the most history? So your CUs, your Oregons, your BYU, NAU, all those, right? So I still wanted to set my sights on those schools, and I wasn't really running that good junior year of cross country, to be honest, compared to what I was running junior spring and track and senior year. At the time, I didn't know it, but I had severe iron deficiency anemia, so I was running like 15-20s for cross country 5K, which is solid. Like D1 programs will recruit you for that, but it's not going to be like high scholarship money or anything like that, right? So originally I was like, filling out the questionnaires for all these schools that I wanted to go to, and I think NAU was actually the only one that actually put me on their list, which that was kind of a cool moment for me. I was like, oh, NAU's put me on there.
Like, Smith, I love you.
Yeah. But a lot of it at first was the state schools because I wasn't running that fast. So like NC State and Wake Forest was one of them. And they kind of stuck with me from the get-go. I didn't really consider it too much at first just because they didn't have the history there yet. And I hadn't really looked at past results from NCAAs and things like that. But as I started being recruited by them and started hearing about like some of the stuff they had to say, it kind of became apparent like, oh, like this is a place I want to go, which I will get into. And also there was a tie. My high school coach, his name is Randy Ashley. He and John Hayes were not high school. They were college teammates at Georgia. So they knew each other because of that. That wasn't like Randy, my high school coach, being like, oh, you have to go to Wake Forest or anything. But it was like, oh, he's a friend of mine. I really trust him. This is an option
The trust
for you.
is huge when you're in that process.
Exactly. So I started talking to Wake, and at first, I remember when I first met Hayes at a meet, I was like, it was like right after a race, and my high school coach was like, oh, like, I'd like you to meet one of my friends who's coaches at Wake Forest, John Hayes. And at the time, I was like, yeah, I'm not going there. Like I'll still be respectful, but I was like, I don't see myself going there because like I said, I had my sights set on different things. And then I remember they sent me a letter like a couple weeks later. I think that's kind of like the classic way. I don't know. I feel like a letter is a little more meaningful than like a Instagram DM or something. So I was like, okay, it's cool. And started talking to the assistant coach, Coach Azuri, and it became very apparent quickly on that the goals and philosophy of the program are very different than anything else I'd heard. It was actually, so I guess I'll say like what they talk about mainly. So whenever we're being recruited to Wake, like one of the first things they said on the call was we recruit based more on like the character of the guys, like are they good people rather than are they really fast runners. So they don't want a guy who's a douchebag on the team. They'd rather have like good guys that run fast, but more importantly are good guys. So they protect the culture of the team. And because Hayes, when he got there, he kind of described the program as drinkers with a running problem in 2015. And he had to.
One of our friends from the pod, I don't know if we should expose him. One of our friends that we know got kicked off the team shortly after Hayes arrived.
Really?
Yeah, he's an Australian. I won't say anything more.
Okay. I think I might know who it is. But so he had to do a lot of trimming of the roster, and he removed the people that he thought shouldn't be there and brought in the people that he really thought would like contribute to a good team culture and could build a national championship caliber team. And I really appreciated the like amount of care that he put in, and the fact that it was, hey, we really care more about the people we're bringing in, the character of them, and not necessarily just how fast they're running. And that meant a lot to me. I mean, I know that everyone on the team is going to be a guy I have in my corner for the rest of my life just because of that. So I would say that was the biggest thing for me. And the only program that I heard was really similar in terms of like recruiting philosophy and things like that was NAU. Actually, I thought they sounded the most reminiscent to that. And at the time, NAU had won like 6 of the last 7 national titles, and
keep going.
So yeah,
Jordy's getting aroused right now. Just letting you guys know.
Great review.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. It's really refreshing because we
actually.
hear so much about like, bright lights, big performances, like all this amazing stuff, like, oh, here you run really fast. But it's really good to hear a story of that gets back to, I think, to more like the foundational roots of like what is actually really important when you're making a college decision, and just goes to show, because I think probably a lot of people in the position of a high schooler right now are really stressed out trying to make that decision of where they want to go to college to run, because it is really hard. But I think it's always really comforting to know that you can actually, take the time. You can speak to the different coaches and hang out with the team, and you can actually find the place that feels like it's just right for you, rather than stressing like, I need to run fast so that I can go to like the fastest program, because things change all the time, and you never know. And
the result of that is then you're at a place that feels right to you, and then you do end up running as good as
the magic happens.
Yeah. And then you run as good as Rocky did anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. Like
which is amazing.
I talked about it with Hayes a good bit last winter, and we talked about how like beyond anything, just being happy is more so a bigger factor in training and running fast than anything. Because he spoke about how famous running coach Jack Daniels, he actually would advise against people going to altitude for altitude blocks for like 6 weeks or whatever, because they were just like, man, I just get like so sad because I'm away from family, away from my girlfriend, like whatever, right? And it's like, dude, if it's like a big burden for you to go to altitude, like you're getting like low-key depressed, like don't do it. Like just be in a situation where you're training happy so that you can run fast.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Legendary coach. I mean, it's it's so smart. And I think everyone knows that on some level, but in terms of actually designing your life and making decisions that align with that, something that's harder to do. So having like a coach and other people in your corner that are constantly aware of that, absolutely huge. So that's awesome seeing. Yeah, we mentioned how things are changing all the time. And one thing that's been really interesting, I think, to see how it's changed for us is how, so back when I started, when we were in school, the Pac-12 was generally where most of the best distance runners were, I would say, because you had like Oregon, Stanford, a bunch of other good schools. But the Pac-12 doesn't even exist anymore.
No, it's not.
Things have changed a lot. And arguably your conference is the hardest for distance running. I mean, maybe you're a bit more connected, so maybe you can confirm that or not. But this is just to say that, I mean, you seemingly came to a Wake Forest and things seem to click pretty fast from an outside view. You can give us more details on that. But the whole time you've had to race these guys who are a line of guys who are the greatest NCAA runners ever. And we're referring to names like Ethan Strand, Parker Wolf, Gary Martin, a bunch of others. I mean, the ACC is crazy, no?
It is, yeah.
Virginia Tech, like...
Definitely. It's a fair evaluation because, I mean, like you said, the Pac-12 was the hot conference, and I think that, I guess the last 5 years, there's been like a kind of a renaissance or a revolution in the ACC. I would say that we're definitely like, I mean, we have top end talent, but we also have a lot of depth. Like if you just like go down the list and look at like the times at cross nationals or not the times, sorry, the placement at like ACCs and that versus like placement at cross nationals, it translates pretty well. And I would say even in like when you go to track times and you look at those and you look at who's running at nationals, it's definitely like, okay, this is a very deep conference. And I mean, some people will argue, okay, like what about the Big 12? Like, yes, they have BYU, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, right? Like there's a lot of top teams there. But if you look at the ACC, there's like a lot of just like really, really good programs that are like consistently in top 15 programs, and it's hard. It's hard to be competitive, but yeah, it makes it fun.
It definitely will pay off having all those super, super competitive races. You know, it's like the pressure makes diamonds. I mean, for you, it seemingly happened pretty quickly. I think by the end of your sophomore year, you already had a 3rd place and a 5th place and a 13:07 5K PB at one of the Sound meets.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can talk about the progression from like stepping on campus day one. You're like a true freshman, like,
yeah.
You know, the world's your oyster. Yeah, lots of potential, but who knows, to already like 2 years later being able to have these such amazing performances in a time when, yeah, it is the deepest it's ever been.
Right. I mean, I was definitely set up very well from my high school coach in terms of he kind of gave me the right expectations. He's like, well, listen, he made me realize my potential. He was like, you're really good at this, but the NCAA is like, there's another level to this, right? Like you're good in high school, but the NCAA is another step up. But if you handle it the right way, even though, yes, freshman year is a big adjustment, you can still make a pretty big jump and like have a lot of success in your freshman year. And I think that I controlled things pretty well freshman year, but I definitely still had like my freshman year adjustment moments. Like at the end of the day, it is your first time being away from home for a prolonged period of time. And for me, it was more some of the little things that you just you kind of take for granted when you're at home. So like for me, for example, when I was at home, it was, okay, get your morning run done before class. And then like my mom has my breakfast ready for me. And then I can drive to school. Like shout out mom. And I can drive to school, go to class, whatnot, go to practice, come home, there's dinner on the table, all that, right? In college, I go to practice first thing in the morning because we practice at 6:30. And then
Really?
Yep, 6:30 in the fall. And then they provide us like little like bagels and stuff like for immediately after, but there's still like the expectation you need to go get like a full meal afterwards, right? Freshman me didn't really fully appreciate that or fully go to the next step on that and go to the dining hall and get a full meal in. So I would just take the bagel sandwich they gave me and go, yep, that's good, and then go to class. And ultimately it resulted in me getting hurt later that year, like literally the day after Nuttycombe. I think that year in October, I had a flare up in my foot and in my season. So some things like that where you don't appreciate like how things have been set up for you in high school, where it's like, oh, like there's food on the table for me, I don't have to think about it. In college, it's like, oh, I do have to think about these things. I have to plan out my nutrition based on my day too, because some days it's like, okay, like it's back to back to back class, practice, rehab, whatnot, right? So more things to consider, but I'm glad I learned it early because it made it so that sophomore year I was more on top of things. And I would say that also in terms of why it happened so quickly freshman year is just because I was just doing the right things, I guess. Like outside of that, I was set up really well with training also by my high school coach. The training like styles were pretty similar between him and Hayes. Not the exact same, but in terms of like more aerobic work and less like super intense stuff. So it wasn't a big change for me to go to the college and 10K training. And beyond that, I was surrounded by a bunch of good guys, a bunch of guys that wanted to be great as well. So that also pushes you as well. Because, I mean, there's the saying, you're the average of the 5 closest people to you. So if you surround yourself by a bunch of disciplined people, it rubs off. So
I haven't seen that in my experience, but yeah, I mean, without like a trying. But I mean, it does sound like it's a good way to like project you to where you are now. Particularly for like, I mean, looking at my freshman year, I'm sure Morgan and George have similar stories of like us going over, and particularly coming from international, it's like, oh, it's a completely different environment and I have to like adjust who I am. And it also develops you well as an athlete because you definitely rely on yourself a lot more.
Yeah.
So
I think I had different issues my freshman year, but
Well, different issues. Well, Jordan, you
Please
can
tell us. The
open
floor
up.
is yours.
You can open up.
Well, it's from what he was saying. I maybe just like not that focused on running.
Oh, we got a bad boy over here.
I think Morgan and I were also in that position a little bit. But yeah, but like I mean,
I was
those were
putting us all in that, and that his was the bagels.
His was the bagel situation. Ours was maybe we were
I think every program is much more professional
than it
now
was
compared to-
than it was when we were in
100%.
college. Probably yes.
Not
Yeah.
that long ago.
Yeah.
Times have changed. But you seem like a very professional, just human being. Like the way you talk, man.
Oh,
you're
thank you.
You're wicked
Yes,
smart,
same.
man. You're like you got it going on. I did want to ask. I don't know how many details you can reveal, but maybe none. I don't know how Coach Hayes is, but what does like an average kind of training week look for you guys these days? Maybe one for like cross country, and then we can like do a track one.
For sure. I mean, what we're doing isn't secretive. We did receive a Strava ban this year because guys were posting like Strava on all their workouts on Strava and
I
stuff.
get it. I think.
Yeah,
I get it.
but I mean, like what we're doing, like everyone's doing the same stuff, right? I mean, it's not radically different, but I would say a sample week, Sunday long run, Mondays just filler mileage or cross train depending on how much you can handle. Tuesdays, double threshold of some sort. Wednesdays, also kind of filler mileage. If you're feeling good, you can kind of do like a mini long run. We call it like a medium long run instead.
Mhm.
So just kind of do it based on like how good you're feeling. And then Thursday, I know you guys do like a speed development type day.
Yeah.
So
You're muscular.
we do something like that on Thursday. Friday, it depends like where we are in the year, but it could be like a long tempo type stimulus, or it could be mile repeats if we're getting close to a race. Just kind of depends on where we are. And then Saturday is complete recovery.
Wow, so that's like literally the same as our training week in college, except for like take out the double T. That's essentially what we're doing at Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
it's not.
I wasn't
radically
sure that
different.
because so when I was in college, we would talk and we would say like it's just funny how every single school is doing. I would say 95% of schools were doing the exact same training week,
Yeah.
and it was like that. You had Tuesday, Friday sessions. One was like 8 to 10 mile tempo. One was mile repeat, something like that. Sunday long run,
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if like it had changed very much now, but I imagine, yeah, as you just said, like most schools are doing pretty much like that. I imagine seems like most schools are doing double T for like that threshold day, and then you have the other day where you could do mile repeats or something more specific or a tempo depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
Does the schedule change much when you get into track?
Not really. I mean, I guess like less long stimuluses and more track oriented stuff, but it kind of the bones remain the same. Like Tuesday's almost always double threshold, like throughout the year. Does rarely
Just the Friday
changes.
workout changes kind of
Yeah.
depending on the year,
Mhm.
on the time of year. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's kind of
Yeah.
refreshing to hear. Things are just
It's a nice structure for the week.
Yeah. You always have it.
you just don't overcomplicate it. You just get in the solid work, and as you said, it is mostly aerobic focus, which I think is always good to work on.
Mhm.
And then you get, I mean, it works. You get these crazy results.
Yeah, exactly.
So, damn.
Become a beast over cross country, as we saw in the fall.
Yeah, should we get into the
Yeah.
this past fall a little bit?
Sure, let's do it.
First off, don't be so hard on yourself, man.
it's part
Morgan's
of me.
been waiting to
Sorry.
say that.
I forgot about that. That's what I said.
You did really, 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 really well.
No, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, like Nationals was crazy. I think everyone knew that Hupton would be probably the guy to beat based
Mhm.
on the fact that he's literally had shown that it had the 10K distance specifically. He was one of the best runners across the entire world for the last
Oh yeah.
2 years, and he's been up there at the front of NCAA cross since he was a freshman, I believe. But going
Yeah.
into that season, clearly you had very, very big goals for yourself, and I imagine the team as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did have big goals for ourselves, and personally, yes, I did as well. I think that the previous year as a team, we'd gotten 7th, and that was with me being our 5th man because I had gotten a heat stroke that year. So we had like kind of in our minds, we kind of were like podium or bust in a way. We thought that podium was like we couldn't accept anything less than that, and so getting 12th, getting 12th as a team. It was kind of like, oh, like that. Well, that was short of what we wanted. So, but I think part of it was because we set our expectations way too high after things pop up during the year, right? Like cross country season's unpredictable with injuries and things like that. And that unfortunately hit our team, but that's a part of it, right? We can't hang our heads about it. It happens to every team. So I think that instead of saying, oh, like podium or bust, it should have been, let's just do our best on the day and maximize what we can do. So and going into next year, it's like, okay, don't put a number on it. Let's just do what we can based on the circumstances. But yeah, 12th place didn't sit great. I think it, especially because the year before when we got 7th, we were way ahead of schedule compared to where even we thought we would be. We got 24th my freshman year because coach called us the baby brigade because we were a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, super young team. And then the next year we made this huge jump to 7th place. So we just kind of figured, oh, well, if we got
just keep the good times rolling.
24th to 7th, surely podium will be easy, right? No, it's not easy.
We had that exact same thing at Wisconsin. Yeah. NAU didn't have that. Somehow they managed to just every NCAA crush they would show up. But particularly my freshman year was literally the same, where I think we came, I want to say 9th or 10th, but the entire team was like freshman. I think one guy wasn't we had one guy that was a senior and everyone else was a freshman or a sophomore eligibility wise. So it was the exact same thing where it's like, yeah, we're going to be like podium next year. Like it's going to be so easy. And then we went completely backwards. So
yeah,
happens to the best of them.
It happens.
Dude, NCAA cross is hard.
It is it is hard.
you went and backed up an incredible second place to Hebton. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks, another second place at US Cross to Parker Wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
no fear.
And just like dude, you're like at the front of that race, absolutely pushing the pace on Parker, Nico, Graham. That was baller, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
thank you.
You just had the confidence to do that. Like, where did that come from? What was the mindset? It was so sick.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I kind of even surprised myself. I remember we went through a K and I went out hard like I would in any other cross country race. Because like at the internet, like NCAA, it's like what 200 something runners.
You got to get out.
You got to get out.
Yeah.
And so I was used to that, so I figured I'm gonna get out hard. And then I come through a K and I find like back, I'm like, oh, I got like a 5-meter gap.
What's going on?
What's going on? And I was like, do these guys not want to run? Like, I mean, I get like it's a little muddy, but the weather's like decent right now. But so I was like, all right, well, I mean, I think that this year I kind of realized I feel most confident and when I'm at the front and when I go into a race, like with the full expectations, knowing what I'm going to do. I remember at ACC championships this year, the plan going into the race was coach basically told me at 3K, he wanted me to just slam the gas, like no matter what. So 3K into the 8K race, because it was between going in, it was like myself and Gary. It was kind of who's going to win between us two. And I went into the race knowing like, okay, like I'm just basically going to spill my guts out to win this thing and like just slam the gas at 3K and make it hurt. And I think that going into the race with that expectation made it so that I could perform up to that. I knew what was going to happen. And for USA's, I didn't necessarily expect to lead it. I thought it would be a situation where I could maybe get towed along, but I wasn't naive about it because that past summer in LA at the Sound Running meet, I had the expectation where I was like, okay, I'm in this really stacked field. I'm running a 5K. Surely I'm just going to be towed along and I have a really good chance at getting under the world standard, getting under 13 minutes. And that didn't happen. I was right behind the pacer from the gun pretty much. And then once they stepped off, it was myself and Brian. And then both of us went 1-2. And so after that race, it instilled a lot of confidence in me that, hey, I can come out in this pro field and run really fast, even if the circumstances aren't what I expect them to be. And so at USA Cross, when I found myself in that situation at 1K in where I'm at the front of the race and I thought like, potentially that I wouldn't have to do that, I was like, no, I'm not going to like be naive about it again. I'm just going to go. And that's what I did. And then I found myself, like, I remember 4K in, people were like, the top 6 is set. And I was like, oh, so that's the team, I guess. And now it's just like, let's try and win the thing. And it was, I remember like distinctly, there was like a bend I went around in the race and like Nico kind of came up alongside me and he was like breathing really hard. And I was like, oh wait, this is like a 12:45 guy. Like, so it was a pretty cool moment. And I surprised myself in that regard, but definitely like the build up from that summer, gaining that confidence from Sound Running, and then ACC's doing what I did, and kind of just each race, I had these like moments where I'd just front run and just slam the gas. That gave me a lot of confidence to do what I did at USA's.
Yeah. It was a huge breakthrough performance, and I think going into it, we were speculating because, I mean, every year, like pros talk about like, oh, like how would we do in the NCAA cross field, and everyone's very afraid of it because I think. I think we could all agree that nothing probably prepares you as well for cross country as going through the NCAA cross system. Like in the pro, maybe if you live in Europe, like there are really good cross races that you can do there. But here in America, there's nothing that compares to the NCAA cross. So it was really cool, in fact, to actually be able to get for once like a direct comparison of someone that's like gone through the NCAA like cross season at the top straight to USA cross, and then it did reveal some maybe uncomfortable truths that I don't know how us pros would do if we got thrown into that NCAA race every year, because just the level's so high.
Yeah, well, but to give you all credit, I mean, think about it. We're peaking for that 2 weeks before for NCAA cross, and you guys had Worlds in September. It was the late Worlds. So I get it. The training schedules are a bit different. Your buildups are a bit later because you're looking at January World Cross and even further into like an early February for like an indoor race or something, and then maybe shut it down, right? So the training schedule is a little different and the peak is definitely different. So I understand why pros don't like racing collegians, because like we come into those early December races incredibly sharp, whereas you guys you're building up for longer periods of time. So
let's go with that.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
I'll take it.
Clip that. Someone clip that.
I'll take it.
Well, I'm really excited to see you take this mentality and confidence that you have onto the track, because there's a dip. Doing it in cross country, it almost seems more logical, whereas track races are a slightly different beast. So it's going to be very exciting to see. Unfortunately, we're not seeing you race for right now because leading into World Cross, you did pick up a bit of an injury. Would we be able to get a little injury update?
Yeah. No, things are going well. I'm back on land, building up mileage, and I'm eyeing April 10th to open up in a 1500 and then run a 5K at the home meet and then just kind of do the normal NCAA circuit from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be it's just a slightly shorter outdoor season, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a pretty short outdoor season, because isn't NCAA's like 1 month later? Or is it more than that?
NCAA's is early July, early mid-July. It's like June. Sorry, June.
So it's
not July.
2 months. No. Yes,
Yeah.
2 months.
I feel like
months.
most people would
That's
start
normal.
racing in April though.
Okay.
But yeah, late March, like Raleigh Relays that weekend, which is like, it's not this next week, but the week after. That's kind of seen as like the first weekend for like getting regional standards and stuff. I would say that's when most people open up. So late March, early April.
It's going to be very exciting to see. What just happened?
Huh? What are you doing?
What did Ollie just do?
I don't know.
Why are you touching me?
Sorry.
I saw Rocky make a face, and then I looked at what he was looking at, and then you were making a face, and then you were touching
I was
George.
just touching George because I'm in the middle here. I'm in like, I
Mm.
don't feel like I can touch anyone.
You can touch two guys. They're right next to you.
That's true. I can't touch two guys.
Lucky you. So obviously you probably don't want to put any pressure on yourself right now. You just want to, take it week by week, day by day with the injury comeback. But
Mhm.
I mean, I can imagine just hearing you talk and knowing what I know about you, you probably still have pretty big goals for this whole outdoor season, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that after doing what I did in cross, I mean, I like anybody else in the NCAA field, I want to try and go after a 5K title. And then beyond that, I'd like to go see what I can do in some fast races over in Europe potentially. I think that'd be a pretty fun summer to go over there and get my feet wet in that whole scene, because I feel like that's almost the next step beyond like NCAA and kind of the pro races locally. Like you have even beyond, like, I mean, obviously there's the diamond leagues and stuff in Europe, right? But then there's also like some of like the meets like Houston and like Cork City. So things like that. I'm pretty excited to see like what I could do in those types of fields.
Yeah. And that'll lead into, sorry, George, that'll be your final cross country season?
This next year, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
Would you run US Outdoors this year?
Not as of now, no, just with no world championships. Not that there's no point. Like, yes, USA championships should happen every year, but I feel like I would rather prioritize a longer build up for cross and a healthy cross rather than extending my season 2 or 3 more weeks to run the US championships, which wouldn't contribute to a qualifier for next year or for worlds this year.
Good answer.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And something that we, this is kind of terrible on us, not very good at our jobs. We haven't even mentioned you're on an NIL yet.
No, you're good.
It was in the back of my mind.
Put this,
I was like, that the hoodie looks familiar. I
Can
was
we
like,
edit
looking
this
at
to
it.
the start of the podcast?
Yeah, I was looking at it. It looks familiar.
So, yeah, we were super happy when you signed with On because, you're absolutely amazing and you have such a bright future ahead of you. How did it play out for you in the whole NIL scene? Because from the outside, we graduated pre-NILs existing. We graduated in the bagel. Is that what was it? There was like the bagel scandal era.
Oh yeah,
The cream cheese. It was the cream cheese thing.
Yeah.
What?
There was like this big NCAA thing back in the day. It was just a story to show like how strict they were, that they
Someone
could give
got
you
a free
bagels,
bagel?
but they couldn't give you cream cheese.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Actually?
It was
Yeah,
like a big-
yeah,
was
that
a
was a
thing.
whole thing. You couldn't get certain things.
It was like so stupid back then.
Yeah.
But anyhow, not how it is now.
Thankfully, yeah.
Thankfully, signing the NIL with On, how did that kind of come about? And that must make you seem pretty cool, huh?
No, yeah, I do feel pretty cool with it. Yeah. So it kind of started that freshman cross. So I surprised myself that season. I didn't think that I would find that quick of success immediately. I mean, that first race at UVA, I got 5th, I think, and then at Nuttycombe, I got 6th. And so from that moment on, I think agents started reaching out and were like, "Hey, we could get you an NIL deal." And I was like, "Oh, like that's great." And then I got injured right after that, so just out of protection for me, Hayes was kind of like, "Hey, like let's just let him focus on being healthy right now. Let's not bore him down with all this stuff and he's heading into the end of the semester. He's got a lot of work right now. Let's just like lay off that stuff." And once I hit the winter and I was healthy again, I started to look into it, and On was one of the first companies I was interested. And my agent connected me with Kevin. I don't know if Kevin Quadrazi.
Yeah.
Quadzilla, as I call him.
Quadzilla.
Yeah. And when he was talking to me about the brand, it just reminded me a lot of like some of the stuff that Wake was telling me. And I also just thought it was a wicked cool brand, and I've always really looked up to you guys and to the brand itself. So I was like, yeah, like, yes, I want to work with you guys. And so we got it done, signed with them that summer.
That's great. We didn't have to tell him to say that. He just said it, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't have
It's
to. We didn't
truth.
have to get the cards behind the camera.
Mhm.
He believes that. So
It's true.
Give you the extra cash after.
yeah.
We do appreciate
That's
those
right.
kind words. Very
Yeah,
much,
very
and
sweet.
It's very nice to see you repping On. How does it even work? Can I just ask like a stupid like outside
Go
question?
ahead.
Like, do you have to wear, not naming any other brands, do you have to wear your school's brand, or do you get to wear On? Like, what's like the actual rules on that these days?
So I'm pretty sure in like it's written in the contract. So I'm pretty sure it's based on like what the sponsor says and what they're willing to allow. But it says like head to toe and On like at like pretty much all times. Or if it's like,
But
if
let's
you're-
say like a team at your school training, you can wear
oh
On?
yeah. Well, so for school, like you have to be in Wake gear at practice, and so like
Yeah.
in the contract, it's like yes, you're subject to Wake Forest rules around NIL, which is like yes, you have to wear school gear when you're traveling and at practice. But our coaching staff lets us wear whatever shoes we want. We still
Okay.
have to wear Wake gear.
I don't want to get you in trouble or anything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, you're not getting me in trouble. So I'm allowed to wear On shoes at practice and stuff like that, and I just wear Wake gear. And I think that like Wake Forest issued Nike gear, it's like also fine because it's a part of being a Wake athlete. But if I were like walking around, if any NIL athlete were wearing like a competitor brand, wearing like just a plain Nike shirt around the street or something like that, and somebody happened to take a photo of you and send it to the rep because they hate you for some reason, then you'd probably get in trouble for it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
No
then-
one's ever done that to me, but that's crazy.
Try not to make too many enemies out there.
Yeah.
And then once you, let's say this year, for example, once the NCAA season ends and then you go do some races in Europe, you race in the full on kit.
It's based on just who pays for it. So
Okay. Yeah.
for US Cross, for example, Wake paid for that. So I raced in the Wake gear. But for Europe, if Wake wasn't willing to pay, then I'd just ask On, and then I'd go race in the On gear.
That actually clears it up.
There's some logic there.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Damn. It's a wild world right now. It's real crazy with the NILs, and
Hard to keep track of.
Yeah, it is.
it is. I mean, does Wake Forest is you guys like a basketball school, I imagine?
A barstool school?
Basketball.
No, basketball.
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 Oh.
Sorry, accent.
No, you're good. Our team isn't that good right now. But historically, like we've had players like, I don't know if you follow the NBA much, but like Tim Duncan and Chris Paul went to Wake Forest.
Wow, that's some
CP3.
big names.
Yeah. So, I mean, the history is there. Right now, we're not incredibly good. It's just because we're a small private school. We're the smallest Power 4 school. We have like 6,000 undergrads or something like that. We're in the ACC. So, and it's an expensive school. So scholarships mean a lot more, and they can't just throw like in-state money at any kid. So it just makes it a lot more difficult to recruit. So recruiting a full football team, because it's like, what, 100 something people,
Yeah, it's a lot.
harder. But I mean, they had a good year this year. They got a new head coach, Jake Dickert, and he did a great job. So
Love it.
yeah.
I feel like there has been an Aussie pipeline to Wake Forest, hasn't there?
On
There
the
is, yes.
Fascioni.
Is
Batch.
That's the
Yeah.
only one there.
Mhm.
Are there any at the moment?
Yes, we have 2 on the team, Charlie Sprott and Johnny McGuire. Shout out.
It's crazy how many Aussies. Because at one point, I feel like we would have known every single Aussie that was in the NCAA. Essentially,
Yeah.
now every school just
Has an Aussie somewhere.
Yeah.
Must be so many.
Jammed in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're invading.
indeed. Oh, you had a special question for Rocky? I don't
Well,
see-
no, okay. So I want to know:
Yes.
are you named after the character Rocky?
No, I'm not.
Are you named after Rocky Road, the
No.
suite? So where does Rocky come from? Is it like a parents just thought this is a
Is it
sick
your
name?
legal name?
Yes, it's a legal name. Yes.
So your parents were like, this is a fucking sick name. Let's name our kid Rocky. Is that kind of how it went?
Along the lines, but there's also deeper meaning behind it. Yeah.
I'll be allowed to know the deeper meaning.
Yeah, you can know the deeper meaning. My mom's open about it. So basically, my grandpa, so my mom's dad, his real name is Latimer, and his nickname was Rocky. Everyone just called him Rocky.
Yeah.
And when my mom was 14, he committed suicide. So that was very impactful on her, and she wanted another Rocky, so she named me Rocky.
She got you another Rocky. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great story.
Mhm.
Rocky is a pretty cool name. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of love the
It's a
name
great
Rocky.
commentator name.
Yeah, it is a good commentator.
I thank them
For
every day.
racist.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for naming me Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky's a sick name.
It's iconic out there. Damn. Well, do we have any other questions for Rocky?
I was wondering. I was going to ask. I didn't want to do like too much promotion for NIL, but like with on shoes, what do you wear? What do you
Training and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
what are you liking at the moment? Because it's always interesting to hear. Because like for us, like we're such like. We're sort of in a bubble with like what shoes we wear and what shoes we get, but with the NIL athletes, it's interesting to see in college kids like what they like. So
Mhm.
I was curious to see what you were rocking.
Yeah,
Rocky.
so typically for training shoes, we rotate between the Cloud Monsters. I really like the 3s. I've done a couple runs in
Cloud Monster 3s, yeah.
That's- that's my shoe.
George likes them quite a bit too.
Yeah.
I only got one pair. I might have to ask for another pair of them.
They're
love them.
quite good because
Yeah.
the 2s were really clunky. And
Yeah, the 2s we didn't like. I think that extra bit of foam. I think
Yeah.
they've like now it looks like all bubbly.
Mhm.
A lot
They,
more
they
holes.
went back to their roots with the
Yeah,
one, which I like.
They did, yeah.
So I like the 3s. The Cloud Surfer Maxes I was
Yeah.
also kind of digging last fall,
Yeah.
so I would do those for training as well. This is kind of the craziest part. I don't think you guys will believe me. I do like all of my workouts in the Cloud Surfer necks, like the really firm
Really?
foam ones. And the reason for it is because I try and stay away from plated shoes as much as possible in training.
Yeah, fair enough.
I only really do them like once every couple a couple workouts a training block for like a special
That's
workout
gonna
or
blow
something.
people's
I
minds.
respect that.
Yeah, so I work out exclusively in playlist shoes. So like when I'm doing like double T and stuff, it's in like the Cloud Surfer necks, and they feel like
Both
bricks. But
sessions.
like, huh?
Both sessions.
Yeah, both
Damn.
sessions.
So
Yeah,
you must
so-
go through a lot of them then. You
I'm
must
what-
go through
yeah.
a lot of necks.
I'm one of the only people that wears that shoe at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a popular shoe, right? Mostly because it's firm. But
Right, it is quite firm.
I like it firm like that.
I do
Tell us
like
more.
it.
That was
but-
kind of, arousing.
That's impressive.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, that is honestly very well.
I've done a fartlek in that shoe before.
I'm gonna
I
start.
feel like
working out
I've
in that
run
shoe.
neuromuscular in that shoe when I got a pair, but I never got another pair of them. I mean, I tried the Cloud Runner 3. They're pretty firm, but like the upper is just I think a little too bulky for me
Mm.
running fast. But the bottom of it is like very firm and very like good for running quick. But
Cloud surfing.
that's
next
interesting.
guy.
That's interesting.
Cloud Surfer
dude.
next sale's about to skyrocket.
Yeah, they better
I
get
know.
high.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Get a pair before they run out.
Seriously.
I tried to switch over to the zones or the 99s as y'all
Yeah.
call them, and
Cloudburn Zone. The 99s was an old name.
the old name. But as you guys know, the heel cup on the original was just so bad.
They've updated it though.
And they've updated it, and I
Yeah.
want to get a new pair because I remember I did a workout in them, and I was like, "This shoe is amazing," but my feet are cooked. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
So I want to try out the new version.
They've updated it. It's a great shoe. I mean, I love that shoe. I mean, Georgia and I'm not sure, Morgs, but we work out in that a lot. I'd say that's like my shoe I work out in mostly if I'm not in a plated shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work out on that shoe all the time. If I'm trying to run, that's my shoe for if I'm trying to run faster. But I would be impressed. I'd wonder if you would like doing double threshold in it because it's a shoe that has a bit less compared to like the Cloud Surfer Next, for example. So if you're putting in like really high volume sessions, it might not be quite enough under the foot. But if you're trying to run fast, it's really
for
good.
me, yesterday I had double T and I did in the Echo 4s, the plated one.
Yeah.
Not the Strike. I did that in the morning and then I wore the zones in the afternoon.
Gotcha.
And I like doing that because like I'm trying to not be in plated shoes too much. And I feel like it went pretty well.
Yeah.
So did you wear both zones for both sessions yesterday?
I often do. Yesterday
Yeah.
I didn't. Yesterday I did the same as you, I think.
You did the same as me. Okay. Because you like the Strike as well though. Sometimes you wear the Strike. Depending. But yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's good to know. It's nice little nugget of information there.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
Well, yeah, and like it makes it so that whenever since I'm running in the Next for like all my sessions, whenever I put on like the plated shoes or spikes, like it feels incredible.
Yeah, it feels
Like,
crazy.
It
I can
feels
imagine.
insane.
Yeah.
Whole worldview change.
It's like when you wear really tight tracksuit pants and you're running like warming up and then you take them off and then you like do a stride. You're like, wow, I feel pretty amazing right now.
yeah.
It's like my old rival back in high school. He used to do, so all our cross country races used to be generally, let's say 2K loops, and it would be an 8K race.
Yeah.
And he would pick up a cup on the first lap, a cup on the set, they had water stations.
Yeah.
And he had a cup on the second lap, and then he'd hold cups in both hands for the third lap, and then he would drop them for the fourth.
Wait, who was
So
this?
he like felt like
Rory.
better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was, because then he said it made the fourth lap.
That's
feel amazing.
crazy.
It's a wild maneuver, but he was literally at the best as well. So
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never
he
knew
could
that
do whatever
story.
he wanted. And it is a quite weird look. Running
I was gonna
a
say,
2K lap holding
Did he
two
spill
cups.
it or did he was he able to keep like the water?
No,
in
the
cup?
water wasn't in the cups.
Oh, he would just hold the cup.
He would just hold the cups.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Exact
I
same
gotcha.
thing. Exact same
Interesting.
thing.
Next time we see Rocky at NCAA Cross, he's holding 2 cups of
Yeah.
water halfway
Try it
through the
out
race
sometime.
Yeah.
and then
I might
drops
have
it and
to.
just sprints
If you like working out in the non-plated shoes all the time, then maybe you'll like this as well.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
New training method.
I
Yeah.
love it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Rocky, having you on and getting to meet you and talk to you for the first time, it's been absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you. I
It's
appreciate
made me
it.
an even bigger fan. And I think I speak for all of us when I say that. So thank you so much for coming on the show. And we're very excited to be following along your journey this year.
Appreciate it.
Coffee
Come
Club
back,
TC
come
member. New
Yeah,
Coffee
you're
Club.
part of the track
go.
club now, which is huge for us. A little more. I don't know if do we have anyone in NCAA right now? I don't think so.
We did.
Who?
Huh? Oh,
Yeah,
Lex and
Lex
Leo.
and
Leo.
Yeah. Apologies, boys.
Good
sorry,
squad.
boys.
Good squad.
Yeah.
We love it. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
So thanks so much for the invite. Yeah. I really
Anytime.
appreciate it.
You're always welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. It's been episode
222.
20.
Don't mess it
I
up.
was like,
22.
he's gonna roast me.
Greggy's going to be upset.
Such a good number, actually.
222.
It's a good one. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys all again next week. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, Rocky.
Of course.
Sick, bro.
That was awesome.
Yeah.